Good morning, friends of the internet. We are back again here in a Farming Sim 15 on the Xbox One. We just found this last episode, we just found this tank. And we were like, oh my god, we got to check this thing out. So we're going to do that this episode. We're going to see how this thing works. Wow. Now that is a muffler. Holy crap, I didn't realize that was a muffler. Woo, that's a big old muffler. All right, so we got to figure out how this thing works. So we're going to go over and we're going to see if we can fill this bad boy up. And we're going to give this thing a test. I have never run one of these yet. Now, I have used these hammer tanks before, but they were the ones that you pull behind a tractor, and they have a little head that goes on them and everything. But this said it was a spreader, and I don't see how it's saying that it's a spreader. Now, I know the other tanks that are like this are spreaders, so I don't know how this is going to work. So we're going to go over and we're going to see what we can do here. Now, I believe there's no way to tell it's full. So before we get in here, we're going to turn on our help menu to kind of see how this works. So let's pull this bad boy down here. Let's go into our menu system here. Let's turn this help menu on so we can kind of see what's going on here. So first you need to fill the implement. Okay, so let's pull this bad boy up like this. Okay, RB to fill slurry tank. Okay, so we're filling it. There's no place on it that shows any kind of fill. See, some of the other trailers, they actually have a glass gauge that allows you to see it being filled. We don't really have that. I mean, we don't really need it because we can see it on our screen on the bottom right. It's just a kind of a cooler feature to actually have the glass. Basically, what's going to happen here is it looks like we can RB to stop filling if we wanted, but we're just going to go ahead and fill this bad boy all the way up. We're going to take it out on the field and see what it says. Because like I said, I have not used one of these. I don't know if we can hire a worker. I don't know anything about this. Okay, so we're filled up. So we're completely filled. So let's take this bad boy out here and see what we got. I don't know if it'll let me fertilize a field I've already done, but we're going to try it anyways. Because these fields are the closest and they're plowed and they're ready to go. So let's see. So let's say this field right here. Okay. So let's go up here. So let's go. Can we hire a worker? Let's go like this. Unfold. No, that just unfolds that. Okay, so see, we're kind of, it's not saying that we can do anything with this. Even though it's filled, it's almost like we have to have the other implement. It doesn't allow us to spread. Okay, and that's what my fear was with this. It says right here, slurry spreaders improves the harvesting fields. So it says right there that it spreads, but I also see this thing here. And this is suitable for this. So it's making me have to utilize this. Slurry spreaders improves the harvest field cultivator. Spreaders field for the next sowing. Okay, so it's acting as though this has to be used with that. Because see the connections there on that thing? It has the dual connections on either side right there at the front between the tires, which if you actually look are these two connections right here, these two hooks at the back, which is the variance that it's telling me to unfold. See how it's like unfolding those wheels and those hooks are there? So I'm assuming what ends up happening is this tank where the hose comes down connects to that unit, which then allows me to plow this field, which I don't really care for. So in regards to the way this works, I don't think it's going to do with what we want. So let me go to this. It doesn't let me do anything there. It doesn't let me do anything. It doesn't let me do anything there. So it's literally going to have, I'm going to literally have to have that other unit, which is kind of a bummer because I really don't like using those that way. Because it does take a little bit of time, and B, you're like doing two things at once, but I believe once this tank runs out, if it works like the other ones do, because I've had these here before. I've had this unit here. Now, see, here's the difference. Okay, here's the difference between these two. This one, I can actually spray slurry out the back of it. Spreads, improves the harvest field. So it says the same thing. Okay, so this one, if you notice, this one says that this is suitable for the SKE 18.5 PU, which is this. But this tank here still lets me spray it out the back, I believe, if memory serves me right. But I used it with this for the longest time. So what we're going to end up having to do is I think we're going to have to purchase that, unfortunately. And we're going to go up here and we're going to pick this bad boy up. And I bet you it'll work perfectly. And this down hose will then connect to it. That's what I feel is going to happen there. And I don't like doing this way because, like I said, the plow width on this is not as wide as our regular plow. So it takes longer to plow a field. Yes, we're fertilizing it at the same time, but you know how fast we can do a fertilizer machine. So is it really worth it? I don't think so. I really don't. Come on, hook up. There we go. Oh, so it hooks to the top. So that hose there still doesn't connect to anything. That must just be like a spillover hose or something. So you can see the hose connects us to the top. Okay, now when you lay this down, that's what you get. So you get a way to plow the field plus fertilize at the same time. Which, I mean, this is a cool setup. Don't get me wrong. It's better than the tractor one, but I believe the tractor one allows me not only to, because like let's just do this field. We'll see if this will allow us to hire a worker to do this field. Well, it says hire a worker, so I'm assuming that we can. So let's go ahead and unfold this, and we'll put this guy on this field, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens when it runs out of slurry, because it is going to run out of slurry. Woo, it takes a lot to stop that thing. That thing's heavy. So we're going to go like this. So now you can see that the slurry is going to go out, plus it's going to plow at the same time, which seems like a great process. So this is like double dipping. Okay, so we've got it fertilized and we're getting it plowed. Okay, now let's look at the facts here really quick. The fact of the matter is that this is, how wide is it? Does it say? It doesn't say how wide it is, but you can see it's only doing this short little path. So the question is it worth it to run this path and fertilize it? Now, what you're going to notice is that we can fertilize this whole field fairly simple. Now, this thing will keep going. Now, I don't know if when it runs out, because the other one doesn't stop when it runs out of fertilizer. It just keeps plowing. So the question is, does it glitch like our fertilizer where it keeps going and it fertilizes the field? Or is it just continuing to plow the field? That's what I want to know. And right now you can see we've already used up 10% of that thing just to go down that one pass. So you can see this is going to be, and see, look, we're already hung up. So we got to dismiss this worker, hire this worker back, let him do his thing here. Okay, so you can see it takes so long to do this field. You can see how long it takes for them to plow this. Now, if I put a plow next to this with a tractor, it's going to go a lot faster. So that's where I struggle with this unit here. I was hoping that was just going to be a spreader that we could spread really fast and blow through a bunch of this fertilizer. Because now, once we make one pass of this, we use 10%. So that means we can make 9 passes. So in relation to how big this field is, that's 1, 2, like maybe not even half of this field. So we're going to have to go fill this tank up how many times to do this field? And you know how fast a fertilizer does it. So I still think this is a bad plan to do it this way. But for now, we had to see how this works. So now that we know how this works, you know, bad on us because it doesn't spread. We spent the money to buy this thing hoping that it would be a spreader, but it just supplies this thing. So unfortunately, we're stuck with that for right now. So we'll go ahead, we'll utilize this up for right now since we own it, and then this will probably be something that'll be sold later, but for now, we'll let it do its thing. So let's go ahead and jump into this. Since that thing's busy, let's run down here and unload this this combine. Since he's been sitting here, he needs to get back to work, and we've just been holding him up. Let's get this bad boy unloaded here. We'll jump back into the crone. We'll get it going. All right, let's jump into the crone. Where is it at? Right here. Okay, let's get this going. We got too many things going on. We were experimenting too much, and we're just losing daylight right now. So let's go ahead and fire this beast up. Start getting this going. This right here, like I said, is going to be our moneymaker right now. This is what's going to get us there for that windmill. So we'll just keep plugging along here. Like I said, probably what I'm going to end up having to do off camera is get this this silage done and over with. Is what I'm going to have to do. Is that guy going back to work? Oh yeah, he is. He started doing the field again. I thought maybe he bugged out and was just sitting there. Yeah, we're going to have to off camera. I'm going to have to do this again. I'm going to have to just do a bunch of the silage off camera, get us a bunch of cash back up. And then we'll go from there. I was kind of worried earlier when I started to do my recording today. We fired up the Xbox One and we said, okay, let's do this. We're going to go and record some farming sim today. So I fired up the Xbox, fired up all my editing or my capture software and everything and my video, and turned on my equalizers. And next thing I know, I load up farming sim and it says that this file is completely deleted. So in this third slot where I normally have the save for this world, it was gone. And I was like, wait, what? So I literally had to delete all my local files and then sync it back to the iCloud again to find the file. And thank God it loaded it up. I was so worried we had lost the file. I just kept telling myself, you know, because there's been a couple times that I've played this recording for you guys, and I've been recording and I've got an important business call or something like that, so I've had to take it. And so I've been on the phone, and then I try to like hit the save button and I don't push the save button. I just say close without saving, and I get disappointed because I'm like, oh man, I just spent like 2 hours recording for you guys and I didn't save none of it. So then I got to go back in and I got to play that other 2 hours later and get caught back up to where we was in the videos. So it's not something that I do all the time, but I've done it a couple times, so I try to be wary of it. So to actually delete the file would have been a complete and utter shock that I would have done that. So I don't know if it was a glitch with the system or what, or just didn't read it or what happened, but it wasn't even showing up, and I was in panic mode because I was like, you know what? It's bad enough to go back a couple hours and try to like capture all the footage that I've lost for a couple hours, but to actually have to go all the way back and like rebuild the whole world from scratch, I was like, you know what to say. I was at a complete and utter loss. I was like, this is going to be horrific if this is the case. But thank God I deleted the local files and resynced it to the cloud, and they were still there. So that says that I didn't delete the files. So it was just something going on with Xbox or something. I don't know. So thank God, because I was panicking earlier before I started this recording session. I was like, no. See, this guy's already 80% full. Like, see, it doesn't take long for this guy to get filled up. That's the problem with these big fields, is like these combines can go along here, but they get filled up really, 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 really quick. All right, so let's slide up here. Get this bad boy unloaded. Woo. right, he's doing his thing. Okay, so this guy here is completely done. So let's fold this up. Let's go like this. Let's fold that up. Boy, these tractors are filthy. We got to go get these things in the wash rack. These things are horrifyingly bad. Look at this thing. Actually, before we do that, we got to take this tractor over to the other field so that we can get ready to plant. Then when the other one's done, we need to hook the plow to it and take it over. Because we still, that field, the big field we're working on will be done soon, and we can start this one going as soon as the slurry machine gets done over here. Now, the question that I want to show you here is this, is how many passes do you think we've made here? We've made what, maybe 5, 6, something like that, I would say. So I'm still, like I said, I'm still curious if this is going to be fertilized. And there's no way to tell if this is fertilized or not, except for the colors that you see. So I don't know if it's going to glitch and continue going and be fertilized or not. That's the question that I face. I don't know. I don't really know. We're at 30% on this thing. So he's got 3 more passes. Let's go ahead and grab this guy. Nope. This guy. So we got to load this up. Let's put this over here. Right next to the wash rack. Boom. Let's grab the plow, which was over here. Or I guess I should call this the cultivator. Let's grab this and boom. All right, now let's take this over to the other field. And I'll show you the comparison on speed on what I'm talking about here. And you can see, like, we're going to be a lot wider on this one. I got to lose this menu. This menu is going to drive me insane. I wish they would make that menu more discreet somehow. Because that help menu, it helps, but it doesn't help. It's just more of a nuisance than anything. Okay, so this guy's caught up on a car, which is perfect. Okay. So we're going to set this up really quick, and I'm going to show you how fast these guys go. We're just going to go like this. Check this out. We're going to slide this guy right up here like this. Okay. Okay, let's get this guy. Okay, you can see he's turning around doing this thing. So let's go ahead and we're going to go like this. When he gets ready to go. Okay, this guy's down, this guy's down. So let's go like this. Now I want you to see the difference of how fast this guy goes. That guy had a head start. Look at that. You can see the difference of how fast those guys are. So you can see that this is going to plow this field way faster. This guy's already pulling ahead of this guy. And he's going to do the path that's twice as wide as this guy. So not only is he faster, but he's actually doing twice the work. Okay. Let's see what we got in here. There's probably 10% left. Now, see that tractor, how fast he spins around? Now watch. This guy stops. He's got to lift up. He turns around. That guy's already plowing. This guy got to do this little, like, 40-point turn. Then he slides back up here. And not only is he sliding back up here, he's still overlapping, what, a third of this thing? Look at that. A third, maybe a quarter. Maybe a quarter of this thing is being overlapped. Okay, so he's only doing this little path about 3/4 of this unit. And you can see how much and how fast that unit over there on the left is going. We're already half a field ahead of this guy, and we still have to go fill this thing up with fertilizer. So you can see the time management is not as efficient. I would prefer sending the plow out, letting that plow the field, then run over here and make 4 or 5 passes with the fertilizer and be done. So this is where I don't like the efficiency of these units. I mean, it's cool and all if you want to just like fall into the realism of this, and you can see like it's missing that little patch there. So we're going to dismiss that guy since he's now like pretty much empty. We're not going to worry about this guy anymore. Like I said, I already kind of knew this going into this, that this was going to be this way with this unit. They're just not efficient for me. They're not as efficient as the other way. So, I mean, it's cool and all today. I think I'm just going to sell this back off because it's just not worth it. It's just, I won't use it, honestly. This is just so much faster. We'll get the other tractor over here. We'll bust out we'll fertilize this field in just seconds, mere seconds, and it will be done. So I think this is for our use a little bit better. Especially once we start getting into higher tier tractors. Once we get the quad tracks, they're even a little faster than these guys are. So I think that's going to be it. So with that being said, guys, I got to end this episode. We are running a little bit long, so I wanted to go ahead and kind of show you how that thing worked. I wanted to show you the comparison of the two. Like I said, they're cool in the game. Gives you a little more stuff to use. But for us, that fertilizer, we're going to have to go with a different trailer, I think, altogether. That's just not going to do it for us. So with that being said, guys, I got to end this episode. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, go ahead and smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, you can follow us on Twitter. That way you know when we're posting new YouTube content and we're live streaming. You haven't checked us out on Twitch or YouTube Gaming, come hang out, be part of the audience. If you're new to those channels, smash those follow buttons there. So until next time, guys, we will see all your faces back here on the farm next time.